tour of Google Classroom. I'm going to assume that anyone who's hanging on here knows how to set up a classroom. If you don't, go ahead and contact me and I will help you with that part. So, and it's very easy. Once you get all set up, you open your classroom, and I would suggest you click on the grades, and I would suggest you do this up front. It's much easier to do it before you start collecting stuff from students than it is to try to fix it afterwards. So go to grades. That'll take you to this screen. If you don't have any students, otherwise your students would appear there. And then click on the wheel, and the wheel will take you to the setup of Google Grades. Start with this stuff will all be filled in, the name of the class from what you did, and if you put the other things in, those will be there. From here, I want you to scroll down a little bit, and you go to the general settings. There's some things here you should be aware of. One thing, especially depending on the level of your students, their maturity, is whether or not you want students to post and comment, or whether just comment, or whether not at all. The next thing is Guardian summaries. This is a relatively new feature of Google Classroom. Guardians can sign up with their email, and if you turn this on by sliding it on, the Guardians will get a weekly summary of what their student has done, and they can look under See Examples. You can look at what that looks like under See Example if you click on that. So when you've made those decisions, scroll down a little more. You'll get the grading, and here's where you calculate how it will be graded. I like to use weighted by category, so I've got it set this way. Your options are, in fact, the default is no overall grade, total points, or weighted by category. If you are going to weight it by category, you should go down here. You'll add grade categories and add weights to them. Formative 20, summative 80 in my case. And if you want the students to see the overall grade, you will have to slide this on. When you've finished with that, now you can go either to save or the X, and it will take you back to this screen. And from here, I'll show you what happens in classwork. And classwork is where you will create assignments. The one I use the most is create an assignment, because I will set up my assignments, my forms in Google Docs or Google Drive, and assign them from there. You can also set up a quiz, which is building your own Google form if you use quiz assignment. The trouble I have found with that is that quiz assignment will be specific to this classroom, whereas if you have forms that you use over and over again, if you create them in Drive, you can assign them over and over again, and they will be just the same. You can post questions, exit polls, for example, if you use those in your regular classroom. You can also post materials, and materials would be documents, reading material, things that they can always have access to. They're not necessarily have to send that they've turned them in. I use copies of my chapters here for materials. Whatever you are doing, though, it is important that you assign it to a topic, especially after a quarter, half year, a whole year course. There's a lot of material that's in the stream, and if it's organized by topic, it's much easier for you to find it and for the students to find it under the classwork. So if you want to create an assignment, you first click Add, and you'll have the choices of from Google Drive, a link, which would be anything from the web other than YouTube. So if you have a video that's on what am I trying to think of? TED-Ed that's not on YouTube, you can put the TED-Ed link on there. Or if you have some other website that you that does things interactive with students or whatever with students, you can put the link there. A file would be something you have on your computer, and YouTube is an easy way to link YouTube videos. You can and when you put the video up, you will know whether it works or whether it's currently working or not. So if you're going to do something that is a writing assignment, I would also recommend, so I picked a document here from my Google Docs. It happens to be the agenda for this morning's science team meeting. You will be given the option. The default is students can view file. The second one is students can edit file. The third is make a copy for each student. I like to use make a copy for each student. Each student will get a copy of the file and they will be able to write on the file. Then you set up the other information no matter what kind of assignment you're giving. It will ask you what classes you want this to go to. Do you want it to go to all students, or you can pick students? You should give it a category, summative or formative, the way I set my gradebook up. Total points, due dates, they're optional, but at least guidelines. And again, the topic is important. You can create a topic when you first do the first assignment here. If you did, you don't need to do it from the other place. Once you've created that topic, I would keep all assignments in that topic together, so assign the same one to each of them. These are a couple of new features down here, rubric and originality reports. I haven't worked with them, but you can add a rubric and you can get information about how original it is. Google will scan the internet and check for plagiarism. All right, that's a quick PD, quick overview, quick tour of Google Classroom. Hopefully that will help you. And I will post this link on YouTube.